My Lord Bishop, we thank you so much for giving us this opportunity all to be here. God is good and all the time. It's a great honor to be in front of you here. Mugayi Peter is my name, the branch manager at Centennial Bank, Koima. With me is our main presenter for the day as per our program. Our major theme we are going to share on is financial literacy. But I may not be very good at that. What I will share is a brief profile of the person who is going to present before us. He is called Michael Jingo. He is the General Manager Commercial Banking at Centennial Bank Office. He is a professional banker with a spanning experience of over 24 years, with keen interests in financial inclusion, digital banking. Yesterday I was here, I had the youth who are presenting talking about vibe. In this day and era, you can't have vibe if you are unable to serve digitally. Has keen interest in corporate banking, business, customer relationship management. A brief on his background. From 2019 to date, he has been our General Manager of Commercial Banking. Prior to that, he was our Chief Manager at Centennial Bank Business Growth. He has been able to steer the exponential growth of Centennial Bank, most especially in corporate banking and deposit mobilization. He was the rightful person to share with us when we are talking to the youth, we know our future is covered. Allow me to share a deep dive into his professional career. He earned a PhD in financial inclusion from Celudes University in Italy, and he has also studied over 25 additional certificates and qualifications, but to mention a few. He's an alumni of Makerere University, where I did Bachelor's of Economics, MBA Finance, Fellow of Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services, Certified Professional Banker, and Certificate of Proficiency in Insurance. Those are just among the few that I can share. Allow me call on Michael Jingo to share with us the presentation of today as we're listening. Thank you.
The Lord is good all the time. Now the Lord deserves a better round of applause. The Lord is good all the time. Yeah, we need to thank the Lord for this bright morning, for our good health. We know very many people are struggling with their life. Many are in hospital, and many have already graduated 6 feet under the ground. My Lord Bishop, We welcome you here and we thank you for giving us this opportunity. Reverend Fathers around, the religious, all dignitaries present, I salute you. The youth of this country, the future of this country, I salute you all. As earlier introduced, Michael Jingo is my name. I head commercial banking at Centenary Bank, here to represent our managing director who is in a board meeting. But I know I've been, and just before we start our presentation, Centenary Bank was started in 1983, about 41 years ago. So we are very young. You know, life starts at 40. Many of you may be below 40, so you have not started your life. We employ over 3,300 Ugandans. We have 81 branches, 207 ATMs, over 8,000 agents, and over 3 million accounts. If you look at the accounts in this bank, in the banking industry, they are 11 million. So we command about 28% of the banking population in this great nation. I don't know how many of you have accounts at Centenary Bank. Could you raise your hands? Well, I could run about 2%. That's not very good. I hope and pray that by the end of this presentation, all of you should open accounts at Centenary Bank, our bank. How many of you are willing to open accounts at Centenary Bank? Again, those who are willing to open accounts are few. That is very dangerous. At the bank, we sell a commodity called trust. And if you are here, there is no other bank that you can trust better than Centenary Bank. Because Centenary Bank was started by the Catholic Church. It started as a cooperative 41 years ago. It has been able to rise to be the biggest country. Okay? So there is no other bank that is here to stay other than Centenary Bank, our bank. Well, we have a pack of slides that will be running on the screen as I go about this presentation. And if there will arise any questions, it will be okay to respond to those questions. I could have the next slide. Basically, we're here to talk about financial inclusion, financial management, how you can be able to enjoy working with the bank. I'll give you a quick story. As I was coming in today, I lost my way. And I was behind the Hoima market. So I asked somebody where Centenary Bank is. That person directed me to the opposite side. So I continued. And when I continued, I realized that I was going out of town again. But God is good. I met a nun who was in a car. I think it was Banya Teresa. I asked her, then she directed me. By the way, you are about 5 kilometers away from the bank. And I got my way. But I promised the nun, if I were not a man, I would go and become a nun. And I would be there forever. But I missed that chance. I cannot be a nun because it seems the nuns are the good people. Well, the number one problem for and the economy is lack of financial literacy. And it is very evident by the way I saw people raising their hands. You need to have a bank near you. You need to have a bank as your friend, because the major reason why banks exist is to be able to collect funds from those who don't need it, and help those who don't have it to be able to develop. So if you don't want to open an account at Centenary Bank, it is you losing. It is not the person who has a lot of money and has kept it at the bank for you to access. So economic development without investment in human development is unsustainable and unethical. The only way we can develop our nation, because the biggest number of our population are the youth, over 65%. You need to access financial services. You need to learn to save. You need to know how to manage your money. You need to budget it, spend it wisely. I know many of you get a windfall. Today you've gotten, say, 100,000, and the next day you are very broke. We should start now when we're youth. At worst, save 30% of whatever you're getting by way of stipend, by way of pocket money, by way of transfer earnings from any of your principals where you are dependent. Okay? So financial literacy is that information that you need to be able to live, to be better financially. And it starts with understanding the tenets of financial management. What we are going to handle today, but of course giving you an overview of what financial management is, how you can be able to navigate financial management in this year or in this age where we have digitization, where we have many of the channels that give that convenience, that accessibility wherever you seek it. Today you're able to bank from your pocket. Many of you have mobile phones. That phone is your bank. You're able to access your money wherever you are. You're able to borrow wherever you are, which was not the case over 40 years ago, over 30 years ago when we were the youth. So you have all the solutions, you have all the reasons to access financial services. Let me have the next slide. And the next slide defines what is economic development. Economic development is a process by which a country, region, or community improves its economic health and quality of life. It involves growth in income, employment, and standard of living, but also focuses on the broader aspects of human development, such as sustainability. So economic development touches those tenets around us, just to simplify. There's no way we can have economic development where people are not accessing health facilities, not accessing financial services, not accessing quality education. But we know today many of you have accessed quality education. But what is the misnomer? Are you able to access finances, capital? You have capital. You know, capital is derived from the Latin word. If you could touch your head, that is capital. Capital is your head. If your head is empty and you receive 1 billion today, you will not be able to develop that 1 billion. You actually eat it up to 0. But if somebody has capital, that is kaput, that is worthwhile, even if you gave that person 100,000, he or she will be able to build it to 1 billion. Can you say amen? Amen. Thank you. So economic development is about GDP. GDP is a gross domestic product. And that is about how much is the country producing, just to keep it simple. And we go ahead to define GDP by GDP per capita. You know, if you look at the East African nations, our GDP per capita is one of the lowest. And it is because we have very many unproductive, I will not say heads, but humans. If you look at our 65% are youth, many of them are in school, so they are not yet productive. And that means that our GDP per capita has to be low. But it starts with you being able to be prepared to produce, to be productive, and to be entrepreneurial. In this country, we have the highest levels of entrepreneurship. But financial inclusion is very low. And it is also about improvement in infrastructure, I mentioned education, employment. The unemployment levels in this country are very high, but it starts with us. We can be able to be job creators rather than job seekers. Because many of you have studied, you've gone to university, we have very many graduates, but the jobs are very few. However, this is an emerging economy with very many opportunities. Human development, technological advancement, that's the digitization we're talking about, to be able to create solutions, to create convenience, to create accessibility and improvement in our processes. Then we have sustainability and environment. Today you know very well that weather patterns are changing. The rains delay, or when they come with floods. The sunshine and the heat that we're getting today is too much. This is a resultant of our lack of care for our environment. We are cutting trees, we are destroying swamps, we are encroaching on the water bodies, and all of this is affecting our environment and the climate. So we need to take care of it. Then increase the wealth and income. Well, I'm not a politician, but we had been promised by the year 2020, I think 2025, everyone will be in the middle income level. But that can only be accessed or even achieved if all of you have better financial management. And all of us, right from the leaders of this country up to the last mile. And that's why we should dwell a lot on financial management. Let's have the next slide. The next slide gives us the numbers. And I know as young people, you should be very interested in these numbers. GDP for the country in 2022 was 4.65, and that it has been growing, but of course the growth is decimal. As we speak today, we are at 6.0, but of course we need to remind ourselves the time we had COVID-19, we lost 2 years, and it's not only losing 2 years, but most of the production lines closed, most of the jobs closed, thereby actually having a negative growth. We have the prime overdraft rate. Okay, inflation rate first. We see that in 2022 it was at 10.2, but again this was a resultant of COVID-19 when most of the production lines were closed, thereby leading to higher prices, higher costs of manufacturing. But as we speak today, it has greatly improved to about 3%. If you're looking at the prime overdraft rate, it's been constant at 20.5, the CBR, or the central bank rate. That is the rate at which commercial banks access funds from the central bank, and that is also a pegged rate for our lending. If it is high, we certainly offer you credit at high interest rates. It's been able to oscillate between 10% and 9.75%, where we are at today. The bank rate oscillating between 14% and 13.75%. Treasury bill rate 91 days oscillating between 11% and 10%. TB rate for 182 days oscillating between 12% and 10%. 364 days 13.8% and 14.5%. Of course, for the TP rates, when we get nearer to the elections, these rates starts rising because of the need for government to spend, and also many of our people are borrowing to be able to spend in the elections. So the cash economy is fed with a lot of cash. Then the local currency against the dollar exchange rate, we've seen it oscillating between 3,720 to 3,660. What does this imply? That our currency our exchange rate has been stable, so the strength of our currency is super, and it is credible. So you should be able to keep your money in Uganda shillings. That's what it implies. If you have money today in Uganda shillings, we rest assured that in the next 6 years, if it is to depreciate a little, will actually appreciate instead. If the rate in 2022 was 37.20 and today it is 3,660, that means that if you kept 100,000 in 2022 in the bank, and now you're back in 2024 to withdraw it, it is stronger than it was in 2022. That is it in simple terms. Or it has more value in 2024. Let me have the next slide. Here we shall look at the key drivers of the economy. And like I mentioned, environment is very important. The responsibility for maintaining, sustaining our environment is with the youth, and we have you today. If you do not protect this environment, many of us will be dead in the next 50 years, but you'll be the people to suffer. Okay? Probably will also not be around, and all these people this say will not be around. Okay? But you will be around, or many of you will be around. But the environment is for you, is for the future, is for all of us. And we have inherited it, we have to keep it, we have to maintain it. After you've left this place, please plant a tree. Please ensure that whoever is encroaching or distorting the quality of our environment is checked or is stopped. As the youth, I know the youth enjoy a lot of politics, but this is not politics, it is your welfare, and it is serious. Environmental standards must be kept and must be adhered to. The small businesses must be fostered. I know many of you will probably start the small businesses, and at Centenary Bank, we have the Youth Venture Capital. where you're able to borrow at 14%. If you're from the Kampala region, we have the youth fund where you're able to borrow at 10%. We have a youth desk headed by a manager and about 2 staff. In all branches, we have teams that are able to give you that credit or even advise you on how to go about financial management of your businesses. So we welcome you to start businesses. We welcome you to prosper, because that's the future of our country. Those who have visited countries like China, Singapore, Malaysia, many of the youth start their small enterprises in the backyard or in the garages. And these enterprises scale to very big entities. And that piecemeal growth, that gradual growth is more important than you acquiring a very big outfit and it collapses. Because you learn on the job and you have that incremental growth, incremental, slow but sure. Important, education is important, export promotion. Of course, export with value addition. You need to add value on the many products and agricultural production. Over 75% of our households are doing agriculture, but many of them are not doing value addition. Most of the youth are engaged in agriculture. I'll give you a quick example for coffee. Today, many people are happy they're having a bumper harvest. A kg of coffee goes for about 12 to 14,000. But in the same kg or kilogram of coffee that is exported to UK, Italy, or Germany, in just 100 grams, which is a tenth of the kilogram, somebody is able to earn $10. And $10 is about 40,000. So what does he earn in the entire kg? That is 400,000. Okay? For you, you've sold at 14,000, and that person who has done value addition is earning close to 400,000 in the same kilogram that you have exported. I hope that makes sense to you. We need to do a lot of value addition. The stages of economic development are mentioned there. We start with the environmental degradation, where we are doing quite a lot of it in this country. And the youth, like I said, this is your nation, this is your country. You are the future leaders, you are the future households, and the future leaders who should be able to safeguard this environment. The pre-industrial economies are those that are just trying to construct industries. We have the industrial economies. Many of them are like China, India. For us, we're in the pre-industrial. We have the post-industrial economies that are moved now beyond even manufacturing. They are better at service. That's where we need to aim, but starting with the little we have, we should be able to scale and grow. That should be able to give us a better income per capita. Okay? So save the environment, move into manufacturing to add value to your products. Many of you are in agriculture. Be intentional, be deliberate. Do not sell your produce to the middlemen without adding value. And let's move away from the subsistence economy where we only produce for our stomachs. That way, we should be able to grow this country from the less developed country where we are at today to a developing country, and later an industrialized economy We are still an LDC. We've been there for so many years. Should come to the youth, because you are the majority of this country. You are more entrepreneurial than many of us. You are very strong, very intelligent, and hoping that you should be able to intentional that you will enjoy in the coming future. Let me have the next slide. And like I mentioned, in these countries, the youth are engaged in manufacturing. They are not in employment. They are not idle. They are not following the politicians as they go to the rallies. Okay? Please be productive. If you are productive, even this country will develop. You are the majority in this country, but again, the biggest number of people who are less productive are again the youth. So, if we take the case studies of China, Singapore, and Dubai, you note that the levels of unemployment or underemployment are below 2%. Yet ours are about 40 to 50%. We are in an emerging economy that has very many opportunities, very many gaps to be filled. We just need to be intentional, we just need to be handheld, we just need to look for that mentorship to develop. And all leaders have started these programs. We hear PBL, Youth Venture Capital, Youth Fund, but they have not been impactful. And my call to action to all the youth of this country gathered here, the Catholic youth, can you be productive? Let me have the next slide. The key challenges of our economic development are majorly around corruption. Yesterday we were with the Minister of Finance at a dinner, and he also noted that the biggest problem of this country is corruption. URA in 1996 was collecting about 206 billion. Today they collect about 24 trillion. But the biggest challenge they have today is corruption. And corruption can only be fought by the youth. How? You are the future of this country. You are the majority of this population. And you can be intentional at promoting zero corruption in our processes. Poverty and income inequalities, we see many people are actually not earning enough. Poverty is biting us. It is everywhere, but it can be fought. It can only be fought by getting our people to be productive, to be engaged in manufacturing, to be engaged in any economic activity. Political instability and poor governance. Today we have peace in this country. Can we use it? We don't have any wars. We hear in Syria, in Russia, in Israel and Gaza, they are fighting. Where there is war, certainly you cannot prosper. But we have the peace, and let's use it. Lack of education and skills. Many of the youth today are educated. They have the skills. Can they be intentional at using those skills? We have health issues. Today, our health services are much better. We're able to access a doctor. The doctors are actually many today, and that is a plus for us. So it should be a challenge for a few, but you need to take good care of your health and your general well-being. Environmental sustainability, this one I've overemphasized because it is eating us up. It is distorting everything, and we need to protect it. Infrastructure, you've seen the government is doing a lot of infrastructure development by way of constructing roads, and this we need to capitalize on it. Access to capital, initial capital. The initial capital is your head. It is empowered, you are skilled, and you should be able to use that intelligence, that IQ that you have to be able to develop yourselves. Okay? But we also have the cheap funds that you should access as youth from the bank. We also give free financial literacy. We give free financial guidance and mentorship. Then the global economic issues. We know that the war, the Russian war and the Israel-Gaza war have greatly affected the international supply chains. That's why you see most of the imported goods are slightly expensive. That is also very important for the development of the LDCs, the less developed countries. Then the culture and social barriers. Many times we believe that ladies should not own property. That is culture. We need to get away from that. We are agitating for equality, for women's emancipation, the girl child to be supported, and to also do enough to develop herself, okay? So that we get away from the social and cultural barriers to development. Then technological challenges. Many youth are now equipped with tech skills. Please use them to be able to develop. Can you have the next slide? I know I'm about to complete. This slide touches financial literacy. You note that I probably have one slide because I know if I ever left this place today, the value addition I would expect from the youth is not but financial empowerment. It is and better financial management. Because literacy can be given by everybody. However, what is the impact of that literacy? Financial literacy is about planning and budgeting. It's about access and managing credit. It's about accessing insurance, saving, whatever you get in today. Intention of having that savings culture. Can you save a minimum of 30% of what you are getting by way of pocket money, by way of earning, by way of whichever transfer earnings that you're getting from your principals, your parents, your guardians? Debt management, it starts with the youth. Are you able to manage the debt well? When we were starting the youth fund, we learned about 50 youth, and they were borrowing very little money, 2,500,000, 1 million. But little did we know that these youth were planning to go for Cheyo, to go to be, they call it Kadama. So immediately after drawing down the money in their accounts, they process their things, they go to Dubai. They go to Saudi, Oman, Kuwait for Cheyo. And some of those who thought they were cheating the bank actually did not have good luck in their travels for Cheyo. Many returned, some have died. Okay? It starts with good credit management. If you borrow, know that you are not borrowing to cheat the bank. you are borrowing to repair this facility as per the guidance or the amortization that has been shared by your loans officer. Okay? Not to borrow so that you can run away to Dubai, Oman, Kuwait, and those countries, where you're only going to suffer not only with the guilt, conscience arising from the theft of that money. So financial literacy is the ability to understand effectively and manage various aspects of personal finance, including budgeting, saving, debt management, and also understanding, this is very key, understanding the financial products and services. If you don't understand the financial products and services, wherever you are located, we have branches for our bank. Create associations for the youth, invite our branch managers, invite our youth supervisors to have a talk about financial products and services. You are the future of this country. We are very deliberate at investing our time in you to be able to develop you. Our bank, our church, and our nation will only thrive and stay for posterity if we are investing intentionally in you, the youth of this country. So again, financial literacy involves having knowledge, skills, and confidence to make the right and informed decisions about money, which can improve your financial well-being. Because many of you, the youth today, are not only struggling, you are suffering because you are financially mismanaging your resources. So with good financial management, you will improve. I know many times you refer to the successful businessmen that you know that man stopped in the P2 that is very successful. That businessman only went up to top class. He's a top class graduate, but he's very successful and employing many graduates. It is about financial management. You will find that this man records each and every penny. He respects money. Okay? Can you respect money? Can you see it as the most important resource around you? Can you save it for another bad day? It starts now. You need to change. You need to have that self-reflection, and that way you will be better people in this country, and this country will be able to develop. Let me have the next slide. The importance of financial literacy, like I said, financial decision making. You will do better budgeting, better saving of your money, and also debt management. You will not cheat the bank, you will not cheat your peers, your friends, because you only borrow for a purpose. You borrow to invest, you borrow to be productive, but not to waste. When I just started banking, there were youth who came to borrow to invest in a wedding. And I was very candid with them. I advised them, why are you borrowing? That time 50 million was a lot. You are borrowing because you want to impress the parents of the girl that you have money. So that you do a very big, swanky wedding. There's no need for showing off if you don't have money. I know the priests here will assure you that a wedding is actually the ceremony in the church, and many churches have zero rated it. It is free. You don't have to borrow 50 million to appease over 1,000 people who will quickly digest that money, that food, and waste it away. And before you know it, they will be backbiting you that, you know, that guy wasted a lot of money, but he has no house, he's still renting, he's actually overborrowed. Okay? So it is financial management. Borrow for a purpose and invest wisely. Retirement planning is very important. As youth, you may not think about retirement because you see it far away, maybe 50 years to come. But retirement starts now. Today, the life expectancy of Ugandans has improved up to 70 years. If you are 20, if you are 30 today, you have over 40, over 50 years to live. Can you plan for that time today, that when you are 70 years, you will not be a beggar, you will not cry out to your children or grandchildren that you are struggling, but being self-caring, okay? Then let's avoid the financial pitfalls, like I mentioned, those mistakes that we make by investing in non-essentials, by showing off. You will see that most of the people who show off are actually struggling, and those who live a modest life are doing very well. Let me have the next slide. I'll be very quick now, since I have already set ground for this presentation. Financial literacy will improve your investment, your savings, your entrepreneurship. As you borrow, as you invest, as you make financial decisions, and it will be impactful on our economy. And increased financial independence and reduced dependence on social services will certainly get us to another level. The consumer behavior, like I mentioned, you don't have to spend to be safe, okay? Spend on essentials, spend on what you need, not what you would want other people to see you spending on. Those people actually are not interested in you. Your friends, your peers have no interest in you. It should be you and yourself. Then use that inequality going forward. The challenges of financial literacy, the next slide. The challenges are lack of financial education. That's why I encourage you and challenge you wherever you are located. Please call for financial guidance, get mentors, get idols or icons to support you in your enterprises to be able to develop and to avoid mistakes that others have done. Then to avoid the social and cultural barriers, we need to demystify or simplify the financial products for you as you invite us. We need to get away the psychological barriers. And psychological barriers are about the youth thinking that they cannot be better than us. Those who have been to America, China, or even the UK, some youth have changed the norm. Okay? And if they can be billionaires, the youth of this country can be billionaires. If you are empowered, if you are intentional, if you are good at financial management. The technological barriers have actually been waived. Lack of trust in financial institutions. Like I mentioned, I got a few hands raised. Even to bank, but the bank should be your friend. You need to have a bank account for starters. It is a must-have. If you don't have it, just know that you are financially dead. You're only alive, but you're financially dead. Get a bank account. And don't be ashamed of having one. At the bank, the youth have a Cent Evolution account. It is free, zero charges. And on top of zero charges, you are earning interest. So where is the problem? The problem is with you. And like I said, capital starts with the head, that is kaput. Then practical experience, economic instability and the external shocks. The government has been very good to us. We have the stability, we have the peace, and let's use it. We have the banks. They are willing to accommodate the youth. They are willing to support you to even be better than your parents, your guardians. Please use that opportunity. Let's have the very last slide, and that is the conclusion. So what are our key takeaways today? The first one is, can we be intentional at financial management? Because financial literacy supports economic development. The individuals with financial knowledge, they will save, they will invest, they will contribute to the economy. So as you go back, can you start saving? Can you start planning your businesses, doing a business plan? Can you be intentional at budgeting? Can you be intentional at doing at least one enterprise where you have passion? Then improving financial literacy can reduce, can create job opportunities, to better our employment opportunities. And like I said, it starts with the youth. Can lead to better decision making for you, the youth, for the households, and for everybody in this country. We need to focus on better economic development and financial literacy for personal and collective growth. It starts with you, but if you are good at financial management, if everyone is good at financial management, then all of us will be good at financial management, and we should be able to develop this country, the power of Africa. So my final parting shot is, you need to read, you need to learn, you need to be mentored, you need to be handheld, so that you develop yourselves, you grow yourselves, and before we know it, this country will be a developed country. I thank you very much for your gifts.
Another stronger hand clap to our manager for the wonderful work he has just done. Just same time now, I will invite the branch manager of Hoima to highlight on how to open up a bank account, what requirements we need. We will do this in 2 languages, partly in English and briefly also in Renyono. Then, after some few moments, I will invite once again our general manager using Luganda to highlight for the rest who didn't understand his submissions, just in brief, so that we're able to know especially about financial literacy, the dangers that are taking away our finances, and how partly we can all contribute to the development of the economy at full capacity. So, branch manager, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Father. Allow me also to thank Michael Jingo for the great presentation. To the youth present, we've all heard we can really get that account. I'm going to share the very first account that I encourage all youth present here to own. It's called the Cent Evolution account. This account is charge-free. We know most of us youth, we may be just getting pocket money. They have told us to be productive during this holiday. You could be in some productive venture. Once you get that money, you can have it deposited onto your account, and you will be able to get the very amount of money you deposited in the account. That account is charge free and they will be able to give you a Visa card or at ATM card that you can use at any teller, at any automatic machine for the bank. You will need to have a national ID and one passport photo. But I know most of us here may not be having that national ID. But a national ID is a special requirement for us to get an account. Just in case you are from Hoima here, if you don't have a national ID yet and you have already finished your exams, I know you have already been enrolled, take time and follow through to ensure that you acquire that national ID, because it is the basic requirement that you will need if you are to engage in any voting. And the initial deposit for you to deposit on that account is 5,000. I know most of us here in the day will find yourself spending more than that. To my brothers, from what he has presented, if you are to be productive, let us be mindful of how we spend money, most especially gambling and betting. It's a great vice that kills or wastes our money. Munyikirize mbagalukiremu abandi bona abakusobola kubatanfunye kulungi batugambire twena tukusobola kukingula akawunti na muno itwaba eminyeeto tulina akawunti eyitwesere ya Cent Evolution okwetagenda mu kukingula akawunti eyo. Abali mu age bracket eyo obuti abali abaana abatakayikire kuba ne bakora obo wenda kingura account ojja kwetaaga emyaka 18 agenda haigulu baitu na gavumenti kugabendanga muntu era ndiye emyaka ekora ekutandikibwawo. So tukweniza bulumuno bw'okuba otungire ibendanga muntu okuba n'osobola kukola ki kingura account eyo ne siringi 50 ezokola ki kinguza account. Kyokka tingonza nkanga haleke kyonga tulina abasigazi bayitwana b'ebinyeeto or the youth abali productive abakola obutugambira productivity tutugambira ab'ebinyeeto nyona timukkola wile bukira bweba mu ofiisi okwo abantu bajanaganya engoza lodo bwomwabuza okukola kinyo tinkora iyi hati woba wota ndimo mmiri yange ab'ebinyeeto ngonza kubahamiza emirimu y'okulima nagwo mulimu mukulu muno. Babagambire kire omwana hati eri hamtwaro gumne 2023 gumwina kusigikira haliho okuguza otaikaliza kuboko n'olima waye spice nganti iyo tokora bayiraba okukora nti kuya ebe borabo birimire obikozere abwire bukungura iyo okozere ota omwana zayo ozitungire ozandikire bwanika mwita nti myezi gatano marageya ninkola obinyanika yanika omwana zayo nzikoraki nzera aho mwani yonga baitaliye bichole bihimbe bikibyone binde bikulimu ogwo mulimo gw'amaani gw'otalina kwegaya. Tandika n'ogwo batugambire batwolekeza slide hali ensi enkulu za kukireida abantu kugula muno bali beminyeeto iyo bora abosibye olina smartphone abakira tulina smartphones hano oboko okigwira account yako kusobola kugiri batiza simu yawe iyo bwire kumara hasimu kikozaki oli mza WhatsApp TikTok wiki okupostinga birahebe bikugara aho ki obutulaye nigira muno mirimo ekutahya ekutuombeko obwongo bwaitu mu bitukora kijja kuba nikituwongezaho okukora. Munyikirize mbajabulire okwake abuntu obukulu bumpulire hakulu nasomesa kyokando babalabire mugaito ijana abayuthi baffe kutuba bageni batugamba hakulinda obuhangwa bwaitu environment tugambire okusaba okuba mu mbeera ekwegondesa amaiso naye okuba tuli in a manner that is sustainable. Nyabwebura ruga hanu gendo osinga omuti baitu n'ogwo wena akode watugamba okulima mu kisaalu wire bukira tukugamba mu kisaalu tujja kwa sente habwaki habwokuba ekisaale ky'oboora kisiisa nyenke amaizi gajja kulema okulaba amaizi agabo bayini bakozesa kulaga sebeire ekisaale kijjakoze kitagasengeijere nabwekyo as you let us be stewards of the environment and ensure that it is sustainable. Tubaliza akaunti bayitege akaunti okusobola gyekonyeza kufunayo akalooni halooni ampikirire yagamba akawuurawo gavumenti ekaha sente zabeminyereto mu banka. Yes, we have a youth loan okohona halo olugire mudesi genda ha branch ya Centenary owabuza about this loan. Don't fear going to the bank. Batugambire itwena hano mboyerege nguraba inukize mikono bake muna abaina account. Kuno musomo kwa kya lero garuka yo hakina ino ogamba bangambira hakukibura account. Ebasomeseze bingi kya lero osobola kutabiko atabyona murundi gumu. Baitu kitakuwa kirungi muno later or the other day iyo kwana osobola kuyijuka nti bino bakabisomesa. Omuskono olugire kasesi abaigena akabuzi ntakusobola kutunga looni enu ntalina beema bwire bukira bw'oba n'okeekala n'abazaire baabwe tukusaba abazaire baabwe oba yogaidiyani nibo babe abeema baakubanza. Ekyakabiri olina kuba olina omulimu gw'okukola oguli productive otamala galwana n'ogamba we mu banka bangambye tukusobola kufuna sente nja kukozesa sente ozitunga ojja zikozesa ki. Kandi omulimu gw'okola gulina kuba guli mu mateeka ne guyikirizibwa. Otansaba sente nti wabuka bagambire ojja kusiba omupiira ebyo omupiira nsobola okutabimanya. Halo muboko nimutezanga n'empaka nti sibozi ekyo utagenda kyeholera sente bayiraba tebayita zikulu habwokuba it is a game of gambling. Kandi youth loans zino zikwawukana itwe kabanka naitwe tukateekawo a youth fund because the national youth fund jamaliraga eri depleted. Kweyawo nti eyaitu eri slightly higher so kubengalegi nga bw'oragenda osobole kuyikiriza otunge that national youth fund. Abeminyeto bwine buntu tutuwahakana oba kugamba genda otunge ebaluwa ekwanjula kuruga owegombolo oba tawunkiraka kugamba okubakunga. But from what we have been learning here, for you to do something, ukwetagamu that resilience. Uboragena mu ofisi ya lero bakugamba kinu kikwetagisibwa otajwa wagamba nyoba nsabire bingi ngenze kendo obihondere within 2-3 days oratunge ebintu ebyo utakuwa nosobola kutunga sente ezo osobole kuteeka emirimu yawe esobole genda maiso niwo oratubera mu julisi habo enkulakulana ihanga lyaitu otyo muno.
Thank you so much, branch manager, for that highlight, and I believe all of us are now to the moods to open up accounts. Things are possible. Just 5,000, and that account will help you to get a number of loans for your development. You can write a few salient questions which will be looked at the close of our presentation. Then I want to again invite our General Manager, Mr. Michael Jingo, to give a wrap-up of what he presented, but basically centering on financial literacy and some of the dangers taking away our finances in Uganda. I know many of us from the West, Central now, and also they can pick Uganda more efficiently. So just within about 10 minutes, we will do this. This presentation will go on up to around 11. We get a break, and our mass will be at 11:30. So be patient with us and be able to capture all that we need to get. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Father. We have a few questions here. I'll touch them, or I'll address them before I do the Uganda exception. I am a civil servant. I always get salary from Centenary Bank. Can I be able to access a youth loan? If so, what are the requirements? The youth are between the age of 18 to 35. If you're a civil servant, within that age bracket, you qualify. I opened an account in the year 2017. I failed to save afterwards. The bank is far from my village. Like I said, we have over 8,000 agents. Even in your villages, we have at least one agent. If we don't have an agent in your village, at least in the next village, there is an agent. But also on top of that, you should be able to deposit money on your account using your phone. You can pick money from mobile money and deposit on your account. So you actually don't need a bank in your village. You only need a bank in your pocket, and that is a mobile phone. I hope that is very clear. Thank you, sir, for the good lesson. As you have said that we save money in the bank, how do you charge per month? We said center evolution accounts are charge free. But on top of being charge free, we are spoiling you with interest. So it is actually giving back to you on top of not charging you. My question is, when I leave work and I want to withdraw my NSSF, yes, it is possible. And they have also digitized. You should be able to use the NSSF app and 45, or when you turn 45 for the interim access or the early access. Okay. Anything about NSSF, again, as a bank, we can support you when you turn that age. Hello, our presenter. I would like to know why is it that when we try to access those funds, you ask for security, yet for us, the youth projects, and we try to get developed. Yeah, for the youth funds, we are not asking for security. We are only asking for guarantors. We are asking for a bankable project. What is a bankable project? We don't give you money to start a business. We, however, facilitate a business that is in existence for at least 1 year. Okay? If you are into agriculture, you should have been into it for some time. If you are into, say, a retail shop, again, you should have started. We don't give you money to start. And security at least 2%. Because the monies we are giving you are small. But however, if you scale, we shall ask for security. There are many youth we have developed from borrowing 500,000, but today they are borrowing 500 million or 800 million. But by the time you start borrowing 500 million, we assume that you have gotten collateral. So as we keep developing you, why is it that the bank requests for next of kin when they open the account, but the next of kin does not pick that money? The next of kin, and as it goes, is that person we consult when you are still alive. However, when you graduate downstairs, or when you start, the game changes. We shall ask for the administrator of your estate or the executor of your estate. And that should be legally appointed by courts of law or by the administrator general. That is the law of the land. And we are a law-abiding institution. Okay? The next of kin is not that person who is waiting to take away your money when you pass away. When you pass on, we shall ask for an administrator or an executor of your estate. Because now it will turn into an estate of the deceased, of somebody who has passed on. You are no longer alive. I have several questions here about when I opened the account. I work in Masindi. Can I access my account through Centenary Bank found in Masindi? When I opened it, you can access your account anywhere. You should be able to withdraw any amount of it, you access it. If my account is dormant but had some amount of money, you can reactivate it. And how much should your account have in order to access school fees loans? What about other loans, agriculture, business loans? School fees loans, it is about your income. We appraise or we assess your income. Call them your cash flows. How much disposable income, how much money do you have left after you have added your regular expenditures, called overheads or existential amounts of money you have to pay. Once we get that disposable income, we would also want to open up a fixed deposit account and what are the terms and conditions. Fixed deposit from 100,000 to any amount that you may have. And we fix for a period below 1 year. So it could be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or 6 months up to 1 year, but renewable. The other terms, of course, you must have the money. They will be available to you and you will access a fixed deposit receipt. That's the first question we have answered, but we thank you again for these very good questions. We also communities can offer you free financial literacy. I said free financial literacy. We shall not charge you because we want you to develop. The strength of this nation is with the youth. If you are weak, if you are doing sports betting, if you are engaged in thuggery, theft, we don't benefit anything. Because if you checked today, the biggest number of highway robbers, thieves are youth. Yes, it is the truth. It is the youth. We see them on TV every day. Aged 18, even a grandfather, and he hit the head with no mercy. So, but if we engage you in economic activities, we know we are also safe. Because if I'm riding my bicycle next to a youth who is disgruntled, I'm also risking my life. So we should be able to give you so nga tugenda mu Luganda natandise ne omukama mulungi kirabika Oluganda tebalutegeera omukama mulungi obudde bwonna kati nkakasizza balutegeera era kanneeyongereyo mpola mpola neyanjudde nga erinnya Michael Jingo nkulira ekitongole ekya commercial banking mu Centenary Bank nga nkiikiridde mukama wange Fabian Kasi ye ssenkulu wa banka eno atasobodde kubeera wano. Omulamwa gwa okuyigiriza kwange okwaleero kubadde kukulaba nti abavubuka y'empagi oba ly'ejjinja ery'omuwendo ku kizimbe kyaffe eky'eggwanga lino. Bwe tubanga tetubafuddeeko okulaba nti bategeera okukwasaganya ensimbi, tuba twerimba. Kubanga ffe bwe tubanga twefaako tumanye ebyensimbi tubitegeera, ne bwe tunaabeera n'abaana nga tebabitegeera tujja kuba tetubateeseteese bulungi. Era bwe tunaafa eka zange ebbiri bajja zirwanira ate nabo bette. Kati kitandika leero tubayigirize okwasaganya zino ssente. Ne bw'oba ofunye pocket money, ne bw'oba nga olinawo akasente katono tolina nnyingi, kitandika leero ako akatono osobola okukazimba mpola mpola nga bw'olaba enswa oba ekiswa bwe bakizimba empola mpola n'obutaka obutono ne kifuuka ekinene. Naawe akasente akatono k'olina leero kasobola okufuuka biliyoni enkya oba kasobola okufuuka triliyoni enkya bw'oba otegeera okukwasaganya ssente. Ekyo tukiwangaaliddeko nnyo naye nga nkizizaako wabbali ejja kiddira twogedde nnyo ku butonde bw'ensi eno. Netugamba mu abavubuka mukyalina emyaka mingi ku nsi, abamu mukyalina emyaka 5, abalala mulina emyaka 7, abalala mukyalina emyaka 8 okubeera ku nsi eno. Obutonde bw'ensi ffe abalikuwo leero n'abatusookawo tubwonoonye nnyo. Tutemye ebibira, tusenze watulimye mu bisaalu, ennyanja tuzitaataaganyiza nga tuyiwamu amayinja n'ettaka. Ki kye mulina okukola? Nsabye buli muvubuka ava wano bw'aba azzeeyo eka asimbe wakiri omuti gumu, wakiri gumu ne wansobodera okusimba emiti 10. Oba ogisimbye ku kkubo oba ogisimbye ate gimeruka bulungi. Abatema emiti okukola amanda w'ensi. Nabasabye nti ng'abavubuka bw'oba ofuna emitwalo 13 mitono nnyo ku mitwalo, kitanga leero bw'oba tosobola enteko leero tojja kusobola kukatereka n'enkya. Toziteeka mu sports betting zonna, toziteeka mu zaala. Fuba okulaba nga weeyigiriza okutereka olwaleero. Okutereka olwaleero kujja kuyamba okukulaakulana mpola mpola mpola. Ojja naawe kwekanga ng'olaba nti nankulaakulanye nnyo. Waliwo omwana we nalinga mpeerera ng'alina kino ki piggy bank ng'asulamu binusu. Bwe twamuwanga 3 ng'asulamu 10 oba 2. Lumu yakisumulula ng'alinamu emitwalo gya 3. Naye yeewuunya, naye ng'ekyo kiva mu kuyigiriza abaana akasente ku bumanyirivu oba enkwasaganya ya ssente oba kulaba ssente gy'ofuna gw'oyambye no kyolwakitalo nnyo. Nabanyumiza ku mboozi eyo bwe nali naakatandika okukola mu banka ey'abafumbo abajja, gwali mwaka gwa 2004, nga bazze okwewola bakole embaga. Baali bazze kwewola obukadde 50, naye ng'obukadde 5